Hi everyone, my name is Juthathip Phoosaran. I'm a student from Faculty of Economics, Chiang Mai University. So thank you so much for this presentation. It would be my honor. I will start with statement of purpose, and then I will talking about purpose of the study, next advantage of the study, and then research methodology, and the last one is the conclusion. The first one is statement of the problem and significance of the study. Absorptive capability and knowledge flow and capital flow are important key to read absorption. They lead gain more productivity and growth. Some statement is say that international trade and technology is benefit to the global economy as the whole. For example, rising productivity, driving down the cost, or improving living standard. No two factors are driving the global economic transaction more than technology and trade. Here is some statement from the World Bank state that openness of trade and investment is crucial mechanism for technology diffusion and absorption. Firms have benefit from such openness through import and export foreign investment or FDI, especially in participation in producer direct supply chain. Or technology gap between developed and developing countries is enormous. The easiest step to reduce this gap between developing and developed countries is increasing level of technology absorption within in the country. Some statement also said that technology absorption has characterized high adaptability. The enterprise and center openness is seen as an important to economic growth in the country. Learning something is easier than inventing it. I will move to the purpose of the study. The first purpose of the study is to compare and forecast trade and technology absorption in Thailand by using Bvar and Msbvar model. The second purpose is to study the relationship of each variable that affect technology absorption in Thailand. Next session is advantage of study. For the first one is policy maker to improve their policy or strategy, or researcher to adopt this information of their own work. We will move on research methodology. Our data are secondary data during 1995 to 2019, and the main result is from the World Bank and government organization report. The link between technology absorption and trade are quite difficult to measure for these two variables. We use T-proxy that used in this study are measuring value add, the value of high technology export, and the value of charge for the use of intellectual property payment in the balance of payments. All data are converted into the logarithmic term. Here is 7 variables that used in this study. All data need to change in the logarithmic term, and after that we need to test a unit root. Unit root test is important process because many times series data have obtained non-stationary, and non-stationary means when time change that cause the relationship between variable and spurious regression or imperfect information. So we need to test ADF test, PP test, and DFGLS test. Here is the result of ADS test. ADS test from the ADS test in this table, data is stationary, and PP test and the FGL test is also stationary. So that means that all variables are good to use in this study. After that, we gonna move on the model that we use in this study. The first one is Bvar model. Bvar model or Bayesian vector auto-regression is a method in economics to forecast, estimate a vector auto-regression. It different with a standard Bvar model in the model of parameters that are treated as an random variable with higher probability later than a fixed variable. So the first step is choosing Lagrange for Bvar model. From this table, Bvar model Lag2 is the most appropriate because AIC, BIC, and HQC statistic is lowest. The next step is evaluate of Bvar model by choosing the best prior distribution. Three methods are used in this study. The first one is RMSE or root mean square error. The second one is mean absolute error, and the third one is true inequality coefficient. Low forecasting evaluation value means that the model is more suitable to use in this study. I figured out that a normal wizard model is the best prior to use in this. For charts for the use of intellectual property payment in the balance of payment has a positive relationship between capital formation, human development index and technology export. And here is also the relationship between each variable. Can I go quickly? Yes, GDP is gross domestic has a positive relationship between degree of trade openness and human development index and manufacturing value add. HDI is also has a positive impact to degree of trade, human development index, manufacturing value add and high GDP export.
ไอ้แก้วเยติมีทุกคนชมนะฮะที่เคยทำอย่างนี้ฮะ
Wait one moment please Juthathip
มีทุกคนชมว่าแก้วดี
host ค่ะ
นะฮะอยากให้ท่านทำอีก
แต่เดี๋ยวไม่เป็นไรถ้าพูดรวมกันหลายคนบอกเป็นเสียงแบบ
Can the host move the microphone please? We can hear what you say. Sorry. Thank you.
เรื่องการเราก็เป็นห่วงเหมือนกันที่ว่าเราต้องตรวจภายในที่จะผ่าน
Can you hear me? So I will move on the result of forecasting by Bvar model.
พวกนี้ลูกอาจารย์ไปติด โควิดที่ไหนฮะ
ที่ว่าค่ะ
อ๋อเรียนหนังสือ
เราลูกชายป้าไม่มีแล้วเป็นอาจารย์
เป็นอาจารย์แล้วเป็นอาจารย์ติดเอง
We have here is the
อ๋อครับ
as the figure we can see that
อืม
all variables
อ๋อเป็น
are
เปอร์เซ็นต์สูง
searched during
เป็นเปอร์เซ็น
the
ต์สูง
time
คอนแท
change.
คคนเยอะ
Here is the forecasting result from
จะเป็นนักบิน
from this analysis.
จะเป็นนักบินอยู่ระหว่างการฝึกบิน
อืม
ก็เลยต้องไปฝึก
So here is the impulse response function from the variable that I
ไปกรุงเท
studied.
พใช่ไหม
The
บางกอกแอร์
impulse response
อ๋อสุโข
function
ทัยมัน
from
หันใหญ่กว่า
Bvar
บางกอก
is
แอร์
consider how study variable react to a temporary shock or how long they adjust themselves to the mean value when the external change in one variable, another variable react to that change. Here is the result.
คุณจุธาทิพย์ Sorry, but I could not
Yes.
hear you like 2-3 minutes before. Would it be possible to go back a little bit, like 5 slides? Sorry.
Oh, 5 slides.
Can you
Yes.
go through the Bvar lag 2 model, the one that you show the equations?
Okay.
Thank you.
Just a moment.
Go to the equation, please. Yeah, here. Thank you. Yeah, fine.
Okay, this one.
Yes, this one.
Yes, this one is the evaluation value for this study in Bvar lag 2 models. That show the relationship between each variable in this study. So we will move on the result of forecasting Bvar model of 6 variables in this study. Or when the time change, all variables have a surge up and down. It's gonna be happen when another factor are affect in other variable. Here is the impulse response function of Bvar model. Bvar impulse response function is consider when how study variable react to temporary shock or how long they adjust themselves.
Excuse me, you have 2 more minutes. Sorry, Juthathip, you have 2 more minutes to finish your paper. Okay.
Sorry, because previously the host has making noise during the presentation, so
Oh,
it's
sorry
like
about that. Sorry
I'll
about
play like 5 minutes. So
Okay.
you have at least about 7 minutes to go on, Juthathip. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
When there is some external change in one variable, another variable react to that change. So here is the result from this study as the figure. Oh, sorry, like I can move on to the next page. Sorry, I can move to the next page. I'm not sure what the reason. So after that, we will move on the Msbvar model. For Msbvar model or Markov switching Bayesian vector autoregressive is designed for economic modeling of univariate and multiple time series subject to shift in regimes. It can identify the possibility of a structural base in unobserved regime. So all variables are assumed to be both exogenous and endogenous variable. The first step is choosing Lagrange for Msbvar models. From this study, Msbvar model Lag3 is give the best Lagrange that have the most effective in this study. The second step is using prior distribution. Three prior distribution are used to consider. The first one is normal without prior. The second one is normal fat prior, and the last one is fat prior. From this table, fat prior gets the lowest prior, which BIC statistic value is equal 35.51 S7. After that, the data of trade and technology absorption are separated into two phases, which are high and low. Phase 1 is boom, or high, and phase 2 is down or low. Here is show the analysis result by Msbvar Lag2 model that each variable has a relationship between each other. So for example, BOP or chart for the use of intellectual property payment has a positive relationship with capital formation, GDP, and human development index, or manufacturing value add or technology absorption, while they have a negative impact between degree of trade openness. I will move to the next because I have a limit of time. So CF has a positive relationship between balance of payment and GDP. Degree of trade openness has a positive between human development index, manufacturing value add, and technology export. For the GDP has a positive between manufacturing value add and technology export. For human development index, also has a positive on itself and manufacturing value add and also technology export too. For manufacturing value add has a positive effect to GDP, human development index, and manufacturing value add. For high technology export has a positive effect to degree of trade openness, GDP, and manufacturing value add. Here is the evaluation result from this study that show the relationship between each variable of Msbvar model Lag3 phase 1. So the figure, this figure show the forecasting result from Msbvar Lag3 model phase 1 or phase 2 between each variable. So it's gonna move up and down for their own factor or own another factor that affect them. for the phase 2 or down phase or depression situation in economics. Chart for the use of intellectual property paid in the balance of payment or BOP has a positive effect to capital formation, degree of trade openness, manufacturing value add, and technology export. For gross capital formation has a positive effect to balance of payment and manufacturing value add, and degree of trade openness had a positive effect to human development index, manufacturing value add, and technology export. For the gross domestic product or GDP has a positive to human development index and manufacturing value add.
Excuse me, Juthathip, you have just a couple minutes, please.
Yeah.
Juthathip, can you move your your PowerPoint? Could Juthathip?
No, I can't.
You cannot.
Yes.
You cannot.
Okay, while we are waiting, is it okay if I give you some comments right now?
Yes.
Okay. Kun Juthathip, you have. Wait for a moment, please. Hello.
Yes.
ไม่สะดวกค่ะ ขอหลัง5:30ได้ไหมคะหนูมีประชุมติดกันทั้งอันค่ะ ได้ค่ะหลังที่เสร็จได้ค่ะค่ะค่ะอ๋อทางนั้นเขาบอกหนูแล้วค่ะ HR บอกหนูแล้วหนูบอกว่าให้ส่งให้พี่ป๊อปเลยค่ะหนูไม่รู้เหมือนกันค่ะต้องพี่ให้ HR ติดต่อน้องเขาเลยค่ะว่าแบบยังว่างอยู่หรือเปล่าค่ะค่ะคนที่3เหรอคะ เดี๋ยวค่อยคุยตอน เลยได้ไหมค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ sorry okay
It's
my
okay.
comments if you go to your slide that you show how you calculate the log returns you see that your calculations your formula on the slide is not log return the log return it has to be the first difference of log. So your variable say b, right? You have bt and bt minus 1.
Yes.
To find the log return, it has to be log of bt minus log of bt minus 1. Can you go to that slide, please? And I can show you that.
I can move the slide.
Yeah, I can remember what it is, but I mean, you yourself have to see that slide so that you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I see that. That's alright.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Normally, when we calculate the growth rate of variables, we use either in percent, which is bt minus 1 divided by the bt minus 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But if you are
multiply by
saying you use log return to calculate the change or the growth of the variables, then you have to use natural log of bt minus natural log of bt minus 1. But the formula you show, you use the ratio that I tell you as the first version and then taking log, which is not right. Okay?
Yes.
That variable is wrong.
Okay.
If you confirm that your variables in the model calculate by using that formula, I suggest you to revise your all work. Because the variable is created incorrectly from the beginning. Okay, then look at your model where you test for the AIC, SIC, BIC, the information criteria. You show that you test up to lag 2 for Bvar and you test for up to lag 3 for Msbvar. So in this case, you have to justify why you test just up to lag 2 for the first one and up to lag 3 for the second one. You will have normally we have to show the minimum value of the information criteria to select the lag numbers. Okay. At the moment, you just show the one that up to the minimum, but I'm not pretty sure if you test for the lag 3, would it have the value for information criteria to be lower than that?
When I run the program in eView, it just only lag 2. No lag 3.
Yeah, because the eViews is giving you the minimum value by automatic algorithm.
Yes.
Okay, but you can choose the number of lag to be test. Instead of taking the automatic selection, you let them show the up to, let's say, 5 lag or 6 lag, because you use the data that tend to be monthly or quarterly. So you should test up to 2 quarters. That's a smaller point. But another one that I think is kind of it's quite troublesome, because when you look at your result, the tables that I asked you to restart from there, if you remember, that table show the regression result. What are reported in the parentheses?
From which model again, please? Bvar.
For both model, when you show the table of the Bvar estimations, right? You have coefficients and then the number in parentheses below the coefficients, what are they?
R square, right? And adjustment
No.
R square. Do you mean this
Okay.
part?
Can you share the screen right now, or you cannot?
I cannot.
Yeah, this table. You see the parentheses under the coefficients. What are they?
Hello?
You don't know?
Hello? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I think my network is so poor. Hello?
Kun Juthathip, can you hear me? Hello? Nóห่วยแตกมากเลยอ่ะ Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you.
I'm not pretty sure what happened before, but we were talking about the table you present, right?
Yes.
You have to go to that table.
I can move the...
Okay, if you cannot move, just okay. Look at the table.
Yes.
Your parentheses values. The value in the parentheses under coefficient, what are they?
They are coefficient in the e-view programs.
Okay. Juthathip, I think you have the problem with your research skill, I have to say. Because I asked you the parentheses, the value in the parentheses.
No.
Pause car. Hello?
Yes.
Pause. Could you make sure that Kun Juthathip can hear what I'm going to say? Because if I'm saying anything but she cannot understand or she cannot hear me, it's just useless.
Okay. Juthathip, can you hear me? This is Juthathip. Can you hear me? Okay.
If she cannot
mention,
hear
she cannot mention
you, I
anything.
think we skip to another one
Yes, to the another one, to the last article,
because
please.
I have only 20 minutes
Okay,
left.
okay,
Sorry.
okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, next. Okay.